Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. I get to say it once again with my digital friend, Robert Burbing Bob, Christopher Robin, whatever you want to call him, Padlock Bob. So many phrases, so many names, but he's the one, he's the only. And I'm happy to see him back, finally. It's been a very long time. We're drinking beers, we're catching up, we're living life. And now would be the time for him to whisper those sweet, sweet words.
What are the words? Oh, cue the intro. That's it. Cue it.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
Back at it on StreamYard where I don't have to plug in the introduction post-production. That's nice. You probably heard me yell at my dogs, Rob.
I did not.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
saw it.
Yeah, there we go.
I didn't hear anything through the, except for the last epic note of the intro.
Good.
Everything else was silent.
All right, that's fine. Well, it wasn't silent on my end. Here we are. We're back. We're together again via the internet to talk about things. First things first, though, the brewskis. Now, Rob, I wasn't going to have a beer. I really wasn't. I really don't want one.
I don't want one either. That's so funny because I was literally gonna go, Drew will have a beer. I'll be fine to not have a beer.
But I was just like, you know what? It's my first time in like 3 weeks seeing Rob again. So, and I'll explain why I don't want a beer, but I'm going to have one anyways from Component Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am having their Simcoe Overflow, brewed with Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra Cryo hops. 6.4 in the ABV. It says 0 on the IBUs. So brewed in collaboration with local Milwaukee band Overflow. I've never heard of them. To celebrate their debut album release. This modern West Coast IPA highlights a special hand select batch of Simcoe hops. Combined with the Citra Cryo and Mosaic, the resulting flavor is the taste equivalent of all parts of a band coming together in perfect harmony. This actually won Best IPA in the Wisconsin IPA Fest for 2024. So this has got some hype to it. This has got some gravitas. People are dying to know what makes it so gosh darn good. And I don't know if it's that good. I've never had it. But when I poured it in the glass, golly, did that smell so good.
What does it smell like, Drew?
It smells like an IPA, baby. And if you don't know what an IPA smells like, well, you gotta figure it out. Go smell one. Do some sniffing. Why don't ya?
Yeah, I suppose if you made it this far.
That is refreshing. It is light bitter. It's lightly bitter. Not overpoweringly bitter. It's got a little haze to it. It's golden. It's crisp. I get the Citra. I get the good stuff. The hops just working together. Perfect aroma. Perfect blend. This is good stuff. I like it.
All right.
A little pine to it, but it is good stuff. Rob, you're going with Old Reliable.
No. I actually changed it up. I'm going with a new beer. It's from an unknown brewery. It's called 3 Weeks Lazy.
Okay.
And it looks and tastes exactly like a new Glarus Spotted Cow that's been in my fridge, but I was too lazy. I haven't been on the show in 3 weeks, and I still couldn't go get a new beer. So that's what 3 weeks of being lazy looks like. It looks like a Spotted Cow that I was saving for Jack since I was back in Wisconsin last time, and he never came and got it. And I just told him I had it on Friday again for him, and he was excited, and now I'm going to drink it.
Oh, well, You're gonna have to get him another one. But you're going with the old reliable in Wisconsin. Spotted Cow. Once originally in the show, earlier in the show, I said the best beer ever, and that's not true. But
it's not. I don't think. I mean, it is when you're in. I mean, this is if you go to Wisconsin, you have to have this beer,
right.
and it's. I mean, I'm having it right out of the can today. I'm not even gonna go. No glass in it.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a little too bougie for the backwoods, the cornfields.
Yeah, you're right. Interestingly enough, I was having a
I will say this before we go, just
Mhm.
because I took my first sip of it. God damn it, it is a good beer.
It's good, yeah.
And even sitting for months in my fridge, this beer doesn't get bad. It's still got a very. It's weird how maybe I'm wrong about this, or maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just because I just ate a bunch of Doritos 2 hours ago. But it's sweet on the roof of my mouth, but it tastes like a solid beer on my tongue. But there's a sweetness, like it divides where it's messing with my brain here, Drew.
Yeah. Well, it's good. But speaking of, it's interesting that you said I'm not putting it in a glass because it's too bougie. I was talking about you over the weekend with somebody you know, somebody you're close with, somebody you've known your entire life, and they've also known you've known your entire life, and you've known them for their entire life. And that, I'm not gonna say their name, but they said that ever since you moved out to California, you're getting a little too bougie. You're getting away from your roots. And you're living,
is this Trevor?
And you're living this high.
Oh, is this my brother, Trevor?
You're living this.
That's my first guess.
I'm not telling you who it was. They said you're getting too bougie, living this California Hollywood lifestyle. You're going out, you're drinking these mimosas, you're doing all this high class activity that you are straying away from your roots. Now, I would like to hear your response in a world in which we always try to look at both sides of the coin. I'd like to hear your facts about this, your feelings.
I think just because I add in, and this last weekend I added, it wasn't just mimosas, it was cranmosas, which is mimosas with cranberry.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a good way to start. But we went to an orange pineapple mimosa mix.
Okay.
For our Sunday. We call it a decompression, a day. But no, you know what? I deny that statement that I've gone away from my roots. I still apologize when somebody else is in the wrong. I still hold the door for far too long when somebody's far too, they're too far away from it. I still give I'll buy a homeless person food if they look hungry, or I'll give them my water if it's hot outside. I will, to my own self-detriment, I will help others, and I will be overly nice trying to do it. That is the Wisconsin way, and that will never leave me. So those are my roots.
You just do it now with like $200 pants on, right?
Yeah. Oh man, you should see this. I just did get a pretty dope sweatsuit.
Did you really?
I did.
A sweatsuit?
But did I buy it? No. I found it in an abandoned apartment with the tags still on it, and the tags are over $200. And I was like, mine now.
You took it?
Yeah, I took it. I ain't crazy.
When are you going to use this? When are you going to wear it?
Honestly, I'm going to wear it between November 3rd and November 11th when I come back to Michigan, and it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be walking the mean streets of Munising looking like a gangster thug.
Hell yeah.
Because it is one of those. It says, get that dough on it.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing pictures of that.
Yeah, we'll post pictures of because when you see it, you're gonna understand. It's like how there's Walmart sweatsuits that are like made for jogging and poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Like myself.
That's where I live. That's where I reside.
Yeah, I'm not discriminating. I have to find these upper level things. I wouldn't even be able to find this on the internet because it's so beyond my scope that I wouldn't even know what to search. But this is like those Sean Diddy Combs. Is that the guy? That's not.
You
Well,
can't talk about him, dude.
Is he the guy that's in the news right now?
Oh yeah,
I thought that was Kanye West.
P Diddy, dude.
All right. Well, either way, back before all this, I remember him coming out with a sweats brand or what, like these design.
Sean John.
Yeah, maybe.
He had a brand called Sean John. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pair of those.
I could see that.
And these are like they're those. It's that stiff material that's like it's not comfortable, but it makes you feel cool when you wear it.
Sure.
White people have to know what I'm talking about. Like,
I guess
it's the only sweats that you feel cool in.
Yeah.
And this says get that dough on it.
All right.
In like one of those like hockey jersey patches that's like way too stiff and it doesn't bend.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a very impractical clothing.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
We should make some Porch Pint Society sweatsuits. That would actually be awesome.
It would be dope.
That would be sweet. So I had this conversation with this person over.
I'm calling it. It was Trevor.
I
know it was Trevor. I know you were with Trevor. I saw the Facebook post.
Yeah, you know why that post was made, right? Because we were celebrating my birthday. The one that you.
Oh, I didn't even read the caption. Is that? Did I just see?
You didn't read.
Saw Carissa Glazer is with Trevor Marcy.
Yeah, and you didn't read the caption, nor did you acknowledge the celebration of my birth.
It's in Wisconsin. It didn't matter.
What?
I said it happened in Wisconsin, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it's LA's where it's all happening.
It's funny. Your mom messaged me before you did.
Yeah, I still haven't messaged you. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't. Just to give you a heads up on that.
Yeah,
I still don't. I don't even think I said happy belated birthday when you told me I missed it.
You didn't. Didn't.
I'll tell you now. I hope your day was as good as every other day. I don't wish you a happy birthday. I wish you a happy every day.
Okay, thank you.
That's how much I love you.
That's nice of you to do, I suppose. So I can take it.
I gotta dig out of this hole somehow.
Yeah, you didn't acknowledge my birthday. You didn't. I wish you happy birthday. I think I even make Instagram posts about you on your birthday.
I wish you would not. There's a reason I take it off Facebook so no one knows when my birthday is.
My funny thing, mine's also not on Facebook.
I noticed because I got no reminder for it.
Right.
I think there's two reasons to do it, and I think we do it for two different reasons. I think I take mine off because I don't want people to wish me a happy birthday. I don't think it matters that much. I think you take it off because you want to find out who actually knows when it's your birthday, and you want to spite everybody that doesn't tell you happy birthday.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's I'm just as right as I was about that guess as to who said that I'm too bougie.
You did say you're getting bougie, so yeah, you failed on all fronts.
He tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't play Fortnite anymore, and I don't do this anymore, and
you're a changed man. You got different things going on.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Manager now.
Right. So the reason I didn't want a beer today was, we celebrated my birthday 2 days ago. We went out to dinner with a group of people, hit up a brewery where I did consume a fair amount of brewskis. I didn't feel great yesterday. And that carried over into today. And when I say this, I did not drink nearly as much as you probably think I did. It wasn't that much. And but it's now turned into a 2-day event. And I have officially told myself, I can't do this anymore. And then I don't say it like I'm doing this every weekend and every day I feel, like every Sunday I just feel like trash. That's not true. I really don't like overdo it too often, but now I can't do it. I've now gave myself a permanent limit.
I think there's more to it than just that though, because I can seriously, I'll like on Sundays, right? We go and we drink a lot of champagne, which is, that's a gut rot bomb waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, if we're feeling up to it, we'll follow that up with a night of drinking vodka,
Ugh.
and really just forget the whole day.
Yeah.
And but the big thing is, I can then go. There's other times and I can make it through that, and you feel fine, at least you don't get whatever. But then the other day, I went to Tony's for the first time in a while. Everybody, there's a lot of people there. They gave me they were giving me pints in the regular glass. They're 22 ounces.
Yeah.
And I had two 22-ounce pints. So now you'd think that drinking vodka and stuff, and that would kind of raise up your level. After that first pint, I was in a very happy place.
Mhm.
And I think it's IPA drunkenness is very different than a lager drunkenness, or than a spirits drunkenness, or a wine. They all have their different categories, and you can absolutely destroy your next day with an IPA drunkenness if you don't have water and you don't have food.
Mhm.
So it's because I feel like that day that I went there, I worked all day. I was probably dehydrated a little bit.
Mhm.
I've been tracking my steps, my caloric output, and my water input the
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
And I was, so I was a little dehydrated there, and it hits you quick, and then if you're feeling your oats, then you get a second, a
Yeah.
tall pint, and then you drink that a little too fast, and now all of a sudden you might have a little bit of a thing going on the next day. But if you drink responsibly, and you have water and food and all that stuff, I still don't really get hangovers. I drink a lot on some occasions, and a lot of stuff that you shouldn't mix, and a lot of stuff that maybe you shouldn't even drink. But I don't get hangovers.
Yeah, I did, and I didn't have that. I mean, I didn't, like I said, I didn't have that many, but I don't normally do it that much. But
Let me ask you this, because sometimes one beer will make me feel worse the next day than if I get completely hammered the night before. You ever have that?
Maybe I've had it where maybe I've had two or three, and then I have a really bad headache the next day.
But you never actually get drunk. You just kind of
Right.
sip on some beers throughout. Yeah, I that's never made sense to me. How if you just sip on some beers and then go to sleep, all of a sudden the next day it's you just feel like complete garbage.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's why I didn't want to have one. But it's been a while since I've seen you. I did release 2 episodes, both of them solo. One very short, one shorter.
People will ask me about it. They said, what's going on? Are you off the show? Why weren't you on those episodes?
Really?
I got at least 3 people that asked me. Yeah.
And what was your response?
I said, you're gonna have to listen next week to find out. No, I just said things just weren't lining up for us. I was really busy. I was working on long days. I was working on my days off. I don't even know. There was one day where where you had something going on Monday and Sunday, I think, and we were supposed to do Tuesday, and then I legitimately didn't get home until 11:40 at night.
Yeah,
because there was a work event that they threw together on a Friday for a Tuesday. We had already made plans to record on Tuesday, and I kind of got roped into helping out with that, and then I didn't get out of there until after 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine. That the one 2 weeks ago was kind of a sad one. You probably didn't listen to it.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
And no one, the 3 people did say, "Oh, it was sad."
No, somebody said something, but it was it was Francisco, who is always up to date.
Yeah,
he listens, and which shout out to him. He's in the hospital right now. So.
Oh, really? Is he all right?
He's got some kind of a something happened with his elbow where all of a sudden it swelled way up, and he started getting a fever, and it's an infection that came out of nowhere. So it's a good thing. I was making fun of him on Saturday. I was
nice
you did one push up and your elbow swells way up, huh? So maybe I have lost my roots a little bit. Luckily, his girlfriend was like, you have had a fever for 2 days in a row. It's time to go to the hospital."
Yeah.
And they were, yeah. But no, I feel like he, it's there've been a couple times where the after episodes are released, like Drew or sorry, Jack or Francisco will be like, "Is Drew okay? Is everything's good?"
Why?
Hey, because there's times where you're going through a lot, and I think you put a lot on yourself, and they probably see a little bit of themselves in you doing that, and they that's just that's
Hu-
how people identify with people sometimes.
Human connection. Human connection. That's how it is. But one episode I only talked about my dad. It was his birthday, September 10th, which was the Tuesday we were supposed to what the hell? Yeah. So
What was the short one about?
last week I did an
It
episode.
was about music, right?
No, I did one called Drew Spews. I talked about music things. Talked about how a news story said they created a news story about Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris, and they essentially are just like, and then there was a uptick in voter registration, and they were just pondering, does she have enough pull to influence this election?
Sadly, in this day and age, I think she does.
Yep. And then another topic was Dave Grohl cheated on his wife and had a love child.
Which is, sad to hear.
Yeah. And then the topic was, is bourbon hunting the new craft beer hunting?
That was I read the bio on that one, and I was like, ugh, I don't even want to. I really actually I jotted down that last Tuesday I was supposed to bring that up and say I don't like this.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to the episode, but I read the bio and I'm disgusted.
Sorry.
Is bourbon the new craft beer market? Are you kidding me?
I think it might be. But
It always comes in. I mean, bourbon's been, there's a whole craft gin market that if you're in the right circles, that's a thing.
craft gin?
Gin, man.
Oh, gin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not a big fan of all the crazy stuff that they're doing with gin, but that's me, and
Yeah.
that's the Wisconsinite in me. You drink it no matter what. You don't need to put pine needles in there. It already tastes like pine.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are the episodes. Go back and listen to them if you'd like. I hope hopefully they were good. Hopefully they were entertaining.
I'll throw them on.
Yeah, and I've been pondering a lot about this idea of time, right? Everybody always says there's just not enough time in the day. If I had more time, and I'm like, you know what? If I had more time, it would probably just be full with more obligations, more things that I, would continue to burn myself out on. And then I tried to shift my mindset. I watched this video, and it was probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. This guy who thinks he's better than everybody else, I forget his name, some sleazy salesman, fucking what's the word, entrepreneur or whatever the crap.
Oh yeah.
Some douche like that is just like, this is why I'm ahead of everybody. I break my days up. I have 2 days each and every day. I have my 6 to noon, or no, it was like midnight to noon, and then noon to midnight, and he does things he treats it like it's 2 days, so he's way ahead of everybody else all the time. And I was just like, you're stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Nobody operates on a 6 to noon schedule, and then a 12 to 6. I mean,
I do that actually.
I'm at the same place.
Yeah,
during most of those hours.
I do that. I have the 2 day in a day schedule.
You do, and how does that work?
Basically, the way I break it down is from my midnight to noon schedule. Mm-hmm. I sleep the first 6 hours. Yeah. Then I work the next 8 hours. I work up until lunch, which becomes breakfast on this schedule. So I don't eat until my second day starts at noon.
Okay.
And I have a hearty meal. Yeah. Take an hour, and then my work starts again for another 4 hours at 1. I get done at 5. Then my personal time, I get some personal time, whatever. I end my day. This is where this is key. The last 2 hours of my second day and my 1 day.
Yeah.
I sleep.
Okay.
And that leads right into the first 6 hours of sleep of my next day.
Okay. So
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful. It works out great. I get 8 hours.
makes a lot of sense.
I do a lot of work for other people, a
Right.
little personal time.
So you're
I get
almost working
lunch.
double.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So
Honestly, I like to think of it as 4 days in one day, and I
right,
just break it.
right. Sometimes I feel like I've been working for 4 days after only one, but I mean today, I was burnt out, and I just have a bunch of stuff I have to take care of right away tomorrow that I'm like, oh shoot. But and then yeah, so I was just like I've just been thinking about like the concept of time and how it applies to my life and how I can utilize it to my advantage, and I don't know that I can. I don't know that anybody can, really. I don't think anyone actually ever has enough time, and we never will. So I need to shift it into thinking and into looking at it more of a positive things, all the things that I get to accomplish during the time that I have, rather than the things I don't accomplish and the time that I don't have. That's where you got to make the
Well,
switch. I'm self-aware, but yet I can't do it.
if I can quote Sylvester Stallone
Yeah.
real quick,
Why would you want to quote him?
he might be my new hero.
Adrian.
I mean, that's the worst I've ever heard.
It's the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
It's a great. Are you kidding me,
He wrote it, and you can tell he's an idiot.
dude? Okay, I don't want to get into this. Is our next versus? I apparently is Sylvester Stallone good or bad? Because in my opinion, the guy's he's a genius. He's a great writer.
No,
He
he's
knows
not.
how to exploit his own weaknesses and knows his own strengths. But to quote him,
He knows 3 words.
oh my God, he wrote characters that way. This dude is relentless.
He wrote characters
3
that way because he doesn't know anything else.
No, he's oh my. All right, just can we get off of this? Let's save this for a whole. This is an hour. We'll talk about this for an hour. What do you want? You want to back Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is more well-rounded than Sylvester Stallone. Absolutely.
Why? Because he could hold a prop gun and shoot it.
Because he has a vocabulary.
All right. Let me regroup here.
So what was your point?
My quote was
Quick,
stop. I see you're already ready to cut me off.
Put a handful of marbles in your mouth real quick before you do your Sylvester Stallone quote.
Yeah. I won't even be able to say it right. The first half of your life is addition, and the second half of your life is subtraction.
So
That's your time.
So you're at 0 at the end.
Yeah, you're dead.
Because you're nothing when you're dead, and everything.
Because for the first 40 years you're working towards something, you're building something, you have kids, you get a house, all these things. The second half of your life, they move away from you. Your friends die, your friends have lives, and you don't see them anymore. Your career goes away. All of a sudden, like this, it's a big a big F you by God, and that's me, not him talking. Where it's like you start shit in your pants, you end shit in your pants. You didn't exist before, you won't exist after. But in the middle, you build up, and then it gets taken all away from you at the end. That's the life that we have. That's what we get on this planet.
Mufasa would call that the circle of life.
But it's not a circle.
It's a U. The half pipe.
It's a U. It's a half pipe. But it's the other way, really. It's an up and then a down.
So it's an N.
It's semantics. But I mean, the beauty of Sylvester Stallone is in his simplicity. He breaks things down to the emotional levels and cues that humanity needs to hear. He doesn't need to use big fancy words, but he has them. If you listen to him talk to Sylvester Stallone, not
when reading off a prompter, yeah, maybe he has them.
They're in his back pocket,
Yeah. Oh gosh, no, I don't know. Rocky's.
I just went back and I watched the documentary called Sly. I always love I mean, if you can't watch Rocky and see how great of a franchise that is, at least the first few movies, and then Rambo as well. Which Rambo, that's not a movie like what you think of for Rambo is not what First Blood was. First Blood is legitimately it's a story of a traumatized human being trying to come to terms with something that he was put through and couldn't get over, and then was cast out of society based on. That's a tough thing to write, and Stallone did it, and he wrote it for himself because no one would hire him to do. He wrote Rocky because he couldn't get an acting job. They offered him $550,000 to not act in it, and he was like, "No, I wrote this role for me. Why would I give it away?"
Yeah,
he's a. I mean, that me and you should look up to somebody like that. That's like, hey, he just didn't stop, and we should all look up to somebody like that, in my opinion.
a simple man got lucky.
Luck had nothing to do with it, man.
It's a stupid movie.
He was born in a cab. That's why his face is all messed up.
What?
Because there was nerve damage upon him being born. Like, seriously.
You had to pay that.
And he still became watch that documentary. Watch it. There's a bunch of them out there, and they're worth watching because his mentality on life is worth emulating a little bit.
Okay.
I never steered you wrong, Drew.
So the mentality of I'm just gonna go into a pet shop and start smooching the girl against her will. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's not really how it went down, but
of course
that's how you choose. That's how you choose to believe it.
The quote is, "I'm gonna kiss you. You don't have to kiss me back, but I'm gonna kiss you." That's a weird thing to say to somebody. That's creepy.
It's the 70s, dude. It's the 70s.
It doesn't matter. It's still strange and uncomfortable. You don't say that to somebody.
Led to a beautiful relationship that lasted 5 sequels.
Does she die at the end? Is she dead?
She dies by Rocky Balboa. Yeah.
What happens to her?
I honestly I don't know if they touch on, because Rocky Balboa, like, I just know he goes and he's taking stock of his life, and this is the reboot of it, like in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. So it's after, Rocky 5 was that weird one where he's like gets in a street brawl or whatever. If I'm getting it all correct in my head, but I don't recall, because Rocky Balboa is the one I've watched the least. I've watched 1 and 2 probably the most, but every couple of years I try and go and watch the whole dang thing, because it's one of the better franchises in terms of.
There's no way. I
don't like the judgment that I'm getting out of your face.
I watched the first one and I was like, all right, I've seen them. I don't need to ever see these ever again. These trash films.
I guess it only certain people identify with it. Smart people. Yeah. Smart people that match the intellect of Sylvester Stallone. That's who identify with his movies.
Yeah, when I think of intellect, we got Socrates, we have Albert Einstein, and then in close third, Sylvester Stallone. That's really.
I mean, on my Mount Rushmore of intelligence, Da Vinci'd be up there too. But yeah, you basically got it.
Okay, that's good. No, sure.
Sylvester Stallone and etched out. He just pushed Tesla off the Mount Rushmore of intelligent people.
First half of your life is adding. Second half is subtracting. First half, you're just working so hard, busting your balls, breaking your back, and then when you get halfway there, you say "fuck it," and then you just dwindle down to absolutely nothing because you add. Or you subtract all the work that you just did, and then you end up in the ground and or cremated down to nothing. And then people spread your ashes or leave you in the hole in the ground where you will be forgotten. And then collectively, metaphorically, physically, you are nothing.
Yeah. You come from your flesh and blood mother, and you're returned to Mother Earth. There's no other way to put it. There's nothing before you were born. There's nothing after you're dead for you on this realm, in this reality, on this planet.
So while you're here, you might as well waste 10 hours of your life and watch every Rocky film you possibly can.
I hate you so much,
because
right
in the end,
I'm glad I didn't say happy birthday to you.
This is like the cake thing all over again. You're taking away. You took away my cake. You took away your birthday wish for me.
And you're trying to take away Sylvester Stallone from me. Who's doing more atrocities right now?
I don't know. He's an idiot.
Hey, I'm just saying they're pretty good movies.
That's a pretty good impression
That's
of him,
what I'm
actually.
trying to, maybe try watching them sometime.
I watched the one. I don't need to see any more. But yeah.
Once again, talking about things you don't know.
Yes.
Continue. What's next on the docket? What do we got on our this is a tight ship that we run here. We've got an itinerary.
I was a victim of a new age doorbell ditch scenario. And it was weird. It was unusual. This happened a couple of weeks ago.
Is this the one where somebody rings your doorbell and stays on your porch?
He did. And it was midnight, okay? I have a Ring camera, a Ring doorbell. He comes up to my porch. I get my phone goes off. It's the chime. And Carissa goes, somebody's on our porch. I can hear this. Like she hears, and I was like, what? And then I look at it, and I'm looking at the live of it, and there's this teenage kid standing on my porch talking into my Ring camera. And I was like, what the hell? At first, like, I don't have my glasses on. I thought it was my brother at first. Brother's a young guy. He's 21. And I thought he was like, I don't know. I didn't know what. I was like, is he going through something right now? Like, what's going on? You know? I felt like I was like, but he would call me. So then I go back and rewatch it. And this kid, he's wearing a Playboy bunny t-shirt. He's got like, no offense, a mustache like yours.
Great.
And then he comes up and he goes into my door, looking in my doorbell, and so goes, I just want you to know, I hope you have a really good night and you are loved and I love you. And then he does a little heart thing with his hand. And then something falls, and then he goes off my porch and is talking to someone else and goes, bro, why did you drop that? And that was the end of it.
Think it was a camera that they dropped, a phone.
I don't know. It could have been. Nothing was missing from my yard.
But no, it could have been a TikToker.
Yeah.
Could
have been.
You know.
Yeah.
Which, you know, hey, the irony, or maybe not the irony, but the this is the world giving due credit. We started the Porch Pint Society. And now we've got people coming onto the porch to say, I love you.
You're right. Maybe the movement is going well.
I had a porch, you know, in lieu of a porch out here, they've got patios.
Yeah.
You know, and I was out on a patio, and there was a guy. I was up on the 4th floor, one floor down, one patio stack over.
Mm-hmm.
I look down, and a guy goes, hey, how's it going? And I go, hey, pretty good. Is that a Job costume? He was dressed as a banana.
Oh, okay.
And I go, is that a Job costume? And he goes, no, it's a banana. Which I thought was hilarious. And he's obviously a TikToker or whatever. And then I had to go do a work order in that apartment, and he had to do his TikTok. So I'm on his TikTok changing his outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you're the guy that was in the banana costume. And then he told me he knows Arrested Development, but he didn't get the reference. And I was like, that's okay, because the best thing you can do when somebody says, is that a Job costume, but it's a banana costume, is to say, no, it's a banana. You idiot.
That's pretty good. But I was really thrown off, and I was like, is this the new age doorbell ditching? Just leaving like unusual messages?
Do you remember Trevor used to do drive-by compliments?
Did he? No, I remember him yelling at a specific group of people, and by
that makes him sound like a really bad person. Can we unpack that?
Redheads.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did not do drive-by compliments to redheads.
I don't know why. He didn't say anything like really mean, but
I'm sorry, but yeah, Trevor grew up in a South Park generation, and Trevor is he's a Cartman.
I don't get it.
You know, it's like Trevor used to be a Cartman.
Yeah.
You know, it's like where he could dish it out, but if he you know, he felt slighted if he was on the wrong side of things. And he was a trendsetter in sometimes bad ways, sometimes not bad ways, but for a while I know he was doing drive-by compliments where he wasn't driving. It was always from my car or somebody else's car.
Right, he would do it on other people's cars.
He would roll down the window and he would yell like, I hope you have a really good day today.
Oh,
as
nice.
You're driving by, you know,
yeah.
It's like, it's the new age, you know, it's
yeah. I only saw him one time. He just rolled down the window and he was like, you have red hair.
Yeah, it's just saying a truth,
I was just
blatant
like,
truth.
I was like, what? Like, that's just so random. But he did every single person that he saw that had red hair. He pointed out the color of their hair. I was like, all right, that's unusual, but I, you know, you could be saying things that are worse, I suppose. But yeah, it was just whatever. And you know what? How I responded to that inconvenience and that.
This is what's going to show your true salt of as a human being. So be honest. What'd you do?
I called the cops.
Oh, I wanted so badly for you to have said into your return microphone, "Your love to have a great night."
It was too late. It was too late. I couldn't respond. He was gone by the time I reviewed the footage. I did call the cops because there's been reports of people breaking into cars. My car was parked in my driveway. It was locked, thankfully. And I don't know that's what they were doing. They probably just...
Well, most people don't jump on camera right before.
Right. They probably just saw. And then the thing that like threw me off was like my kid, he didn't have school the next day. He passed out on the couch. I was like, I'm not going to move him to his bed. I'm just going to let him sleep there. So like, I just got a little uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? He was like right on the other...
Don't live in fear, Drew. Live in love.
You're right. But yeah. So that was just what happened. You know, it was funny. Nothing weird's happened since. But yeah, I did call the cops because I was like, dude, get the hell off my porch. Get out of my...
That's the thing. Things progress. Obviously, they're progressing in a nicer and nicer fashion as the years go on. In the late 70s, they were hitting freshmen in the ass with paddles.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's graffiti and whatnot and all that. By the time I went and did my little vigilante night raids, I remember my good friends. I'm not going to say their names, but you probably know they're the two that are still alive and kicking. Good people. But we would go and we would paintball and egg houses. But they were very adamant that you aim for the windows with the eggs because egg will dry on paint and it'll make the paint come off when you clean it. So you aim for the windows so that the homeowner doesn't have to accrue some kind of a cost. They just have to clean the window. It's like, okay, so you're doing something bad, but you're also thinking about the person that you're doing it to. It's not just out of boredom more than it's out of like any kind of dislike or wanting to cause harm to anybody. And then you go another generation and you got drive-by compliments and drive-by hard truths like you have red hair.
Is that really a hard truth though?
I mean, yeah, it is.
Red hair. Redheads are beautiful.
To us they are, but try walking a day in their shoes. Talk to one of them. I know you don't like to do that, Drew, but talk to one of these people and ask them what their day-to-day struggle is, especially back then in the 2000s when South Park was really hitting it hard.
Yeah.
Gingers don't have souls.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and now apparently it's progressed to late night doorbell love giving through cameras.
Yeah.
That's the way the world is.
Yeah. It was.
It's a victimless crime except for the fact that you interrupted my REM sleep.
You really did. I had to work the next day.
But you being the founder of the Porch Pint Society really should have looked at that as an opportunity to recruit.
Yeah, I wasn't in my right state. And then like, I call this non-emergency number and I go, yeah, there's a kid on my porch, just saying some unusual things into my Ring doorbell. They're like, what are they saying?
God, I wish I got to take that call.
And I was like, he told me he loved me, and I think he said he appreciated me. And I was like, nice message and all, but I don't know who this kid is, and I don't know why he's doing it. And then they're like, all right. They're like, where do you live? And I was like, I live here. And then
they were like, "Do you want to press charges?" And you're like, "Damn straight, I do."
They didn't catch him. But like,
but you would have. I want this kid in cuffs. I want his head hit against the bar when you put him in the back seat of the cruiser.
And then like, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll send somebody over, like just to like patrol. And
just
again,
to keep you awake longer.
Well, no, I went. again, it was
they
because
weren't. They didn't have to come to your house and get a report and all that.
no. But the cop did call me though. A cop called me like 3 seconds later, and my ringtone was pretty creepy, and I said it that way because everyone who has an iPhone has the same ringtone, and I got sick of being like, "Is this my phone?" So I changed it to like the creepiest thing I could find, and I played it, and it's like this like sci-fi horror music, and it scared the shit out of me when it went off, and then I answered it, and it's a cop. He's like, "Hey, this is whoever." I couldn't tell you who he was. He's like, well, "Can you tell me again can you like specify what happened?" And I was like, "Yeah, a kid was on my porch talking into my doorbell." He's like, "What was he saying?" I was like,
that guy got a report via text message from the dispatch, and he was like, "I need to talk to the guy that called in on a kid who said, 'I love you and I hope you have a good night. I appreciate you,' and left on his own. But now I got to go patrol the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Who is this fucking guy?"
Yeah, and I was just like, "You didn't say anything bad." He's like, "Oh, so it's just like it's just kind of weird, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "And people have been breaking into cars. My car's in my driveway. I just don't want, I just don't want people bumming around my."
Did this kid have black eyes?
I'd have to watch the video. I posted it on Facebook.
Oh, well, it's clear I don't check the Facebook feeds, or
Yeah.
I just scroll right past whatever you put up there.
But he didn't say.
Otherwise, I would have said happy birthday.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't ask to be let in. That's what the black eye kids, do.
Eventually, he'll be back.
I hope not. Yeah, it was just a little creepy, a little weird. And I was also, like I said, half awake. It's freaking midnight, dude. I know the kids didn't have school the next day, but I had to work the next day, and my wife had to work the next day. So we're just like, "Hey, go do this somewhere." And then I drive down my street, and I'm looking at everybody's doorbells, and I go, "How am I the only one on the block?"
How do you know that you're the only one?
I'm the only one on the block that has a Ring doorbell, that has a video camera doorbell.
Oh, now who's bougie?
You're right. It was a wedding gift. I didn't pay for it. So I'm still just a freeloading peasant.
Ah, got you.
Yeah. I don't pay for my luxury. You do.
Neither do I. I pull it out of apartments. What are you talking about? I got a new couch now, too. I took that out of an apartment, too.
Dang. These people just abandon all this nice stuff.
Yeah, you want to see it? I'll turn the camera. It's leather.
Leather. All right. This is a nice couch. Yeah, that's yours, too, huh?
Yeah. I'm putting down roots.
Putting down roots. You're not even sitting on it.
I know. That's because the cord. I could have found the other outlet, but I went with this one. That one pulls out, and there's a cabinet underneath for blankets, and then it folds down, and it becomes a bed. Am I moving the mic around too much?
I think you're all right.
All right.
Well, that's cool. Look at you getting all this stuff.
My landlord is trying to kick us out of here, though, so I don't know why I picked it up. But
really?
Yeah.
Why?
He wants to do an Airbnb. So he's
Oh.
trying to raise our rent like 33%. And I have to calmly, and that's why I haven't talked to him yet, is because I have to be calm when I do this and go, "Hey, that's not legal. It's nowhere near legal. That's like 3 times illegal. It's beyond. Legal is 8.9%, and you already raised us 5. So really legal for you right now, and this is 3.9% raise. You're going for 33%. I mean, come on, dude. You didn't think that anybody was gonna check on that? That's a huge increase.
Are you month to month right now?
No. He's went in January when the lease is up. But there's a lot of laws out here where it's like you can't raise it that much, and we have to be a nuisance for him to even try and kick us out. Like, he can't just go, "Oh, your lease is up. You can't. I'm not going to rent you anymore." It's like you're putting 3 people that pay their rent early out on the street so that you can do an Airbnb in a city, Burbank, that isn't pro Airbnb. They don't want that kind of. That's not what they're trying to do out here. Everything about this, like, I'm not going to have to move, but I don't want to be on my landlord's bad side, because it's like I have to have a conversation with him where I kind of go like, "You can't raise our rent that much. You just can't. It's illegal, and you're not going to." There, I put my foot down. If you want us to go, have a conversation with us, and we'll try and figure out how to get out of your hair. but raising our rent by that much, that's only going to make it harder for us to move on, because we all got to save money to get security deposits and down payments and whatever's. Moving around here is not easy to do. You got to have some kind of cheddar in the bank. So, and it's like, it's, I just want to have a logical conversation with him where we all walk away feeling good about the situation, and there's not some kind of like, he's going to start writing every little infraction that we have. He's going to try and take security, like, because he'd have to prove that we're a nuisance resident in order to kick us out of here. And then if he's trying to do that, it's like, he's not going to be able to, because we're not. But who knows? It's one guy's word against another guy's word. I'm trying to get a possum taken out of my attic for the last 6 months that's still up there. They finally put traps up there, but it's not doing anything. I still get woken up do you want to talk about getting woken up? I get woken up every time I stay here. I'm up at 5 because that thing starts scratching at the ceiling right above my bed.
That's creepy.
Yeah. You know, it's not easy to sleep when you think maybe it'll make it through today.
So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if it gets to that situation where you have to move out? I know somewhere you could probably go.
Yeah, you got an idea? Oh no, that's not gonna fly.
What do you mean?
You
can't get an apartment there?
You're thinking of Echo Park homeless shelter?
You can't get it. You can't get an apartment where you work.
I mean, I could, but honestly,
I feel like you know someone.
Yeah, I know, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, probably.
Why not?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons. One is that she likes her space. 2 is that she's might be moving on as well. So
what do you mean?
Soon. We might, like, I can't really talk about it too much, just because it's
sure.
But there's a potentiality where by the end of the year I might need a new job. She might need a new job.
Uh-oh.
In a good way, not in a bad way, but it just is like, once that happens, she has to move to a different apartment as well, and we have to figure out where we're going to work, because that's going to determine where I live. My work determines where I live because I have to be on call.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be within a certain radius of where they place me, if they place me somewhere. And they might try and take, I know that they've talked to her about going down to the beachfront area, Long Beach or Santa Monica. I might be able to find work down there too, but I don't know if I want to move down there. So there's some things that are up in the air,
So now we're getting to a point where it's, you went to California to write, to work on this writing. You found some things on the journey, and now you're at this fork in the road, Rob. And this is the new direction of the podcast. This is where we need to follow up. It started with me and my dream of being a podcaster, like all the big ones. And we know that's not going to happen. So then it moved to you and your problems while you were living in Wisconsin. And then it shifted to me and my crazy brain and my thoughts that I go to. And now the new way of the show is the fork in the road in which you are about to look at. Are you looking for, do you take the right turn? You stay in LA, you keep on writing, and you become the next big writer guy. Or you take the other side.
The next Sylvester Stallone, maybe?
God.
If only.
Yeah, I mean, any first grader could be the next Sylvester Stallone. But then, or you could be like, take the road and I'm just throwing a name out here, okay? Just Lover's Lane. Lover's Lane.
Okay.
So
I hope to do both.
Oh, is there a third? Is there a middle road?
I think there's a middle option. I mean, she wants me to write. She told me this morning. I said, I wish you didn't have to go to work, and she said, write your screenplay. Make it so I don't have to.
Yeah.
So
bitch, get to work.
I know. I wrote today. I didn't get to write on my computer because it was being a real something. It took me 2 hours to get to be right on time today. It's terrible. But no, and honestly, part of I'm adopting the Sylvester Stallone method of simplicity in writing, for character-based storytelling. And I really do think, like, if you look into what he did and what he does and how he does it, he's a workaholic, and he just tweaks things the way that they need to be tweaked so that his characters are identifiable, but also go through this turmoil. And it's like, it is such a simple thing that he's just like, oh, this guy is not very likable. Maybe he has a dog or something. People like people with dogs. But it works. It's crazy. And I legitimately, like, today I was like, just all right, come up with some like somebody in this terrible position or terrible whatever, and then just write it out, and then later go back and go, what makes this guy more likable or less likable? What does he need to be?
Mm-hmm.
What does he want? And why does him wanting that make him disliked? And then what do you add in to make him more liked? And then you go back and you hit that ping pong ball back and forth until you till you get a freaking opportunity to spike it,
Yeah.
And it works.
All right.
So
be like Stallone.
That's the goal now. I mean, it's I'm incorporating a lot of different writing things that I look at, because I'm always looking into how people write and what I identify with and whatever. But it's like his method, it is just working through. You just keep pushing through and just go back and go like, what does this need? All right, write it again. Go back. What does it need? Okay, write it again. Go back. It might not be the most efficient way, but it can breed like really good character-driven ideas. So
when are you gonna do that? When's the draft? When's the first draft? First draft is due October 15th.
October 15th. Well, I need to come up with today I was just working on an old story and trying to go cut it through that model. I suppose I could probably do that.
October 15th, I need a draft sent to me.
How many pages?
I need a story. I need a complete idea. I need a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. And then,
although I lose 10 days. Give me till the 20th.
20th. Or then if you take the Sylvester Stallone part, you just send me the one page that says the beginning, one page that says the middle, and one's the end. It's simple, right?
Yeah, exactly.
October 20th. I'm putting it on my calendar.
I think it would be one page that says the beginning, one page that says the middle, and one page that says Adrian.
Yeah.
I can't watch that part of that movie. I'm not gonna lie, that part's bad.
It's right at the end.
It's at the end, and
he
then
gets beat, and he just starts
it.
yelling her name.
It's because that movie is actually a love story. It's not
concussed.
about his boxing career. It's about him and her coming together, and her coming out of her shell, and him letting somebody into his. That's
right. I think it was the first indication that he has CTE.
All right, he got CTE on Rocky IV, I think, when he let Draco beat the shit out of him for the movie. I mean, I'm pretty sure he really got beat up in that movie. Also in the Expendables, he broke his back doing some shit in that, and like,
yeah, because he's a geriatric at that point. He's an idiot.
No, dude, you're so wrong about him.
It's like my teenage daughter talking to me about her boyfriend.
Yeah. It's like he's my friend, and somehow I'm trying to defend him to my other friend. Just give him a chance.
Give him a chance. All right. Well, here we are once again.
Yeah.
I
gotta say, yeah. I'm just gonna say first. I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
This was. I think Spotted Cow needs to be drank out of a keg in a cornfield or out of a can. I think the reason that the last one I had wasn't good was because I put it in a glass.
Could be.
I think it's not made for that.
I drank the Wisconsin IPA Fest Best IPA of 2024 from Component Brewing Company, the Simcoe Overflow West Coast IPA. Pretty gosh darn tasty, if I do say so myself. I enjoyed it. I like it. It was good. It was refreshing. I'm ready for bed. I will drink another one because I have another one, but I'm not doing that today. Probably not doing it for a while. Maybe on the weekend. We'll see.
That's good.
We'll see.
Can I just real quick tell you? I had the Packers defense on my fantasy football team.
Oh,
they
good.
put up 21.
Good.
I got 80 points total.
Nice.
and my bench put up over 90.
That's crazy.
Between 3 people.
That's a bummer when that happens.
So I lost by a lot this week.
Yeah, my fantasy football is not looking good at all this year.
I'm 0-3. 0-3 for me.
I'm going 0-3-1, and then I'm going to be 1-2 in the other, which is a real big bummer. But hey, we can bounce back. At least the Packers are 2-1. Hopefully, they can get 3-1 this weekend. I interviewed Emmanuel Wilson.
I saw that. I did see that.
He got his first NFL touchdown yesterday. That was pretty impressive. Go for him.
Yeah,
very nice guy. So, yeah, there it is. A complete episode, a full episode, a beautiful episode featuring 2 people who are trying to figure it out, but, you know.
Sometimes life hits hard. It hits harder than anybody else.
Just like...
That's a Stallone, that's a Rocky reference.
Of course it is. Who beat him the first time?
Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
He got a stew going.
He got what?
That's an Arrested Development quote, because Carl Weathers played Apollo Creed and then played himself in Arrested Development, where he always was talking about how you can get a stew going.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, see.
Audio. Goodbye, everyone.